Firstly, people. People are very hospitable, very welcoming. They have time for you, even in the busiest city in the country, Almaty. There's not much of a hustle and bustle, so I found the local Kazakhs, to be very, very warm. Cities are surprisingly modern. I didn't see Nur Sultan. I heard that was even more of a modern experiment, but Almaty was quite impressive with the infrastructure. The metro was exceptionally clean. The city in general was very clean, but it was nice. It was like a nice, pleasant, enjoyable place. Nature. So the nature, even from the largest city, Almaty, it's super easy to get out of the city, into the mountains. It's the start of the Tian Shan range. They're very beautiful. There are lakes. 45 minutes from downtown Almaty, you can be in a world-class setting. Cultural cohesion. What I mean by that is the ethnicities get along well. There's a majority Kazakh population. There's a minority Russian population, roughly 30-35%, and then there are a lot of other minorities. I didn't notice any friction between the ethnicities, and people told me that there really are no issues between the different races. Religions, so majority of the people are Muslim, minority Orthodox, and again, it seems to work just fine. There doesn't seem to be like a very dominant, overwhelming feel from the church or from Islam. Like, people were actually out on the weekends. I found that very interesting. Women were out drinking in Almaty, and there was a massive party outside my hotel. But you're free to choose what you want to be, and it doesn't feel super strict. Now, it might be different in the countryside. I'm sure it is. I'm sure like some of the countryside is much different, but in the cosmopolitan centers, it works really well between the religions. Location, if you look at a map, Kazakhstan is sort of smack in the middle of the world in a way. It's the largest landlocked country, so it's really far. It seems far from Europe, it seems far from Asia. Technically it's in Asia, but it's really neither. It has European influences and it has Asian influences. So it's a very interesting sort of middle land of the world, and it works. It works really well, but it's like nothing else. The Central Asian part of the world is very unique. Safety, I felt Almaty to be extremely safe. Here's a crazy one for you. I met this woman, and she was hitchhiking at night in the city, and I don't think they call it hitchhiking. You put your arm out, and there are people cruising around working that will pick whomever up that has their arm out. They're not official taxis. It's not Uber. Yeah, I don't know too many places in the world where that would be okay, where a woman would feel okay just basically hitchhiking at night with strangers. But in Almaty, that seemed to be legitimate. And walking around the streets, super safe. Okay, crime exists, of course. I'm sure things happen. But as far as, I think Almaty is 2.7 million, the metro area. As far as a city that size, I felt super safe. Yeah, I didn't feel any edge to the place. Costs. The costs are very inexpensive. So if you're coming in with dollars, euros, yen, it's a good value. Getting across the city they have something called the Yandex. It's not Uber, but similar. I think it was roughly $2-3. Food is pretty cheap. Hotels weren't super cheap. Actually, that's where I spent the most by far, but still cheaper than Western Europe, for example, or US. And it's not what you think. Kazakhstan it's got Stan at the end, which is a curse, actually, unfortunately and unjustly, because most people don't understand there are 7 Stan countries, and they're all different. And Kazakhstan is not Afghanistan. And even Afghanistan has safe parts. I haven't been there, so I don't know it fully well. But I can speak for Kazakhstan. The name is a curse because most people lump all these Stan countries into one. And then you have Borat, and Borat absolutely destroyed the image of the country. I didn't like it when that movie came out for that reason. I thought it was quite unjust. Okay, Sacha Baron Cohen is hilarious. But at the end of the day, people subconsciously were thinking Kazakhstan is all like the movie. And well, you can see in some of this footage here on the video, I made a video about Almaty. It's not like that at all. I'm sure out in the villages, you can get into some pretty rural situations. So I strongly suggest, if you're thinking of it, if you're thinking of a unique place that's nice to travel, that's interesting, that's most likely different than anything you've seen, Kazakhstan is definitely worth a trip.